Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, we haven't ran him out of town just yet, but it's a matter of time. Trey Lance is here. We got them to admit that he was not the future and get a new quarterback. Last year, we couldn't even get the Niners to ditch Jimmy Garoppolo for Tom freaking Brady. The Niners were like, nah, Brady's a little old. Maybe we need to see a little more from Jimmy. Okay, you saw 6 more games from Jimmy. That's it. They went from, no, we don't want Tom Brady. We want Jimmy too. Okay, we saw the next 6 starts from Jimmy. Get him the hell out of here. Replace him with a guy who just turned 21. I think that's a huge victory for us, man. This is, if I could have told you last year that we could pull this off, you'd be like, really? Wow, we're good.
Yeah, but I still think that the best decision was to trade for Matt Stafford until Trey Lance. And I still think that the Rams are going to be a much harder opponent this season than they were in the past few years. And I really think that this season they can beat the 49ers. That's why I'm not so positive as I was when we drafted finally Trey Lance, not Mac Jones and Justin Fields and all those guys out there. But I'm happy because we can get rid of Jimmy and his legacy with the roller coaster of death from the game against Arizona. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that we can get rid of Jimmy this season. It's a huge victory, as you said before. We did our job with that. I remember first time when I was here in your show, what I did was constantly roasting Jimmy Garoppolo, and that was it. And finally kind of realized that we were right with Jimmy.
It would have been really easy for the Niners to say, you know what, we like Jimmy. Jimmy got hurt. We win with Jimmy. We're not going to overreact. We're going to keep Jimmy one more year. He got hurt. He got hurt week 2. Give him people get hurt. We're not going to write him off. We're going to keep Jimmy, and we're going to upgrade the backup quarterback position. We're going to go get Gardner Minshew. We're going to go get Sam Darnold so that if Jimmy goes down again, they could have done that. And it almost sounded like they were leaning that direction earlier in the offseason. And again, you and I were like, hold on. You're going to do the Jimmy Garoppolo experience again? You're going to let him ruin another season by getting hurt? Or really? And I feel like once again, we brought this to the fans, and we're like, they could seriously bring Jimmy Garoppolo back. Everyone, express how mad that would make you to have another year of Jimmy Garoppolo. And the Niners are like, man, we can't sell this anymore. We got to move on. We went from turning down Tom Brady to turning our back on Jimmy Garoppolo in a year. And that's because us and the fans were like, enough of Jimmy Garoppolo. We rejected him.
Yeah. And right now I do think that in the first moment when for example, Jimmy just is going to break one of his nails on his foot, they will just replace him with Trey Lance. That is going to happen. I'm not going to be surprised if that is going to happen. I think that somehow things turned out to the favor of Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that this was the first year when he was really genius in the offseason.
Yeah. Well, it was us. It was really, I'm not going to give him that credit. It was us. So when Jimmy is, in wherever he ends up for the rest of his career, New England again or Houston, let's say he goes to Houston. And when he's playing for the worst team in the league and really questioning whether he wants to stay in the NFL and thinking, I had it good in San Francisco. I was winning. The team was good. I could have stayed there. He's going to sit up in the middle of the night and go, Botond! Because it was your fault. You ran him out of town, man. Sorry, Jimmy. Botond got you all the way from Hungary, man. He got you.
Sorry, mate.
Take it as a loss. Sorry, man. Mark says, do you think Ayuk blows up as a premier receiver in the NFL this season? I think Ayuk's ascension is going to coincide with Trey Lance's ascension because as long as Jimmy's on this team, no wide receiver is getting the ball down the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
And it depends on how George Kittle plays next season because if he can get back into his Pro Bowl form, I think that no one could get more receiving yards than him in this team. So he will just drain all those receiving yards from his teammates, I don't think that Ayuk is going to be our premier receiver next season. I think that right now, I think that Debo will just be the second guy who is going to create some great plays. I think that he is going to have a premier year.
Jimmy Telenovela 2022. I don't know what that means, but I like it. If someone can explain that, I'm in. Adam brings up a good point. He says, please, can we just remember that Jimmy got hit low illegally because Tomlinson got whooped by Quinnen Williams? I wouldn't go ahead and say it was illegal. I mean, come on, man. It's football. Although I know they've changed the rules, but like, okay. But yeah, he got hit low. That's true. That's true. Got whooped by Quinnen Williams. Yeah, that's true. The team rushed him back. Yeah, that's true. After 2 weeks because this team panicked.
Yeah,
that's true. That's all true.
That was the thing we said during the start of the season, during the first 4 or 6 weeks, that there were so many mental breakdowns during this season, during last season in this team, that you just can't say it's okay. So yeah, it was kind of soap opera.
Spanish soap opera is what it means. I'm sorry, I took French in high school because I really wanted to study a language that would have zero utility for me and something that I would never actually be able to understand or speak. I mean, I always did well in the tests in French, but when it was time to like listen to someone speak that language, I'm like, whoa, what? I'm sorry, pardon?
Well, I can give you some Hungarian classes if you want. If I know that there are 3 or 4 towns around the world where people are speaking Hungarian.
There you go.
In Africa, there's a street in the US, in San Francisco, or in Chicago. I'm sorry. And there's a whole street in England, and that's all. Those are the towns where people use this Hungarian language.
Wow. And maybe in Oakland too, if I learned too. I just imagine that Hungarians enunciate more than French people. French people just talk like this the whole time. It's like, what? Can you open your mouth for a second, please? Everything you just said was ran together. At least I never took Spanish, but Spanish people like really enunciate the language. I'm like, I totally understand. I never took that language, and I think I get what you just said. But French is like, man, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Can you write that down? Can you put that on a piece of paper? And also, French people don't like you speaking their language. I went to Paris when I was 18. And I was like, man, I've taken this language since 7th grade. I got this. And they could hear just a little bit of an accent, and they just respond to you in English like, I hate you, American. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Like, I'm sorry. Why did I do this? Why did I take this line? Anyway, tomorrow, can you watch Lance's back foot during practice? Tends to get inaccurate when he starts to lift it off the ground instead of driving through. I absolutely will look at that. Thank you, Jordan, for focusing my attention. That's a great idea. Good observation.
Could be a great issue with his throwing motion if he just cannot have a good balance during the throw. So yeah, it's kind of important for the.
Watch out, Trey. I'll run you out of town if you don't get that right.